Hello, and welcome to Big Blue News. My name is Rosalie, and my socks don't match.
And I'm Rhea. We have a great show coming up and hope you enjoy. The senior night for the Swampscott Unified basketball team on November 8th sadly ended in a loss. Many fans came out to support them as the game was a big success. The Big Blue played against Saugus but unfortunately lost by a 1-point difference with a score of 38-39. The senior night portion of it was amazing and everyone was having a great time. We loved the support from everyone and hope to have an even bigger attendance next year.
At a recent school committee meeting, Swampscott School Superintendent Angelakis announced the district had received a $310,000 grant to help protect the Swampscott schools. Angelakis said, "This grant will enable us to implement cutting-edge security technologies and provide essential training, ensuring that our schools remain safe havens for learning and growth. This comes after the school implemented the I Love You Guys safety protocol, a system named after a text that a student sent to her parents during the Plate Canyon High School shooting in 2006. I Love You Guys is replacing the outdated Alice protocols. The grant will give school resource officers and other school staff more training with the new protocol. This grant is very important for Swampscott schools, and hopefully it can make a difference in our schools in order to make everyone safer and keep threats away from students." We now cut to a story produced by Lauren Burse, Alexia O'Donnell, and Riley Johnson, where they talk about the school potentially adding more parking spots for students.
Every day at Swampscott High School, students struggle to get a parking spot due to the amount of traffic and limited space. This leads to arguments and miscommunication, causing school-wide stress.
It's annoying because I had to run to her car every day because she wants to be first out because of all the traffic.
Everyone should get the chance to be able to drive themselves to school, especially if a parent can't drive them.
Mr. Kohut, principal, shares his view on reserved parking for upperclassmen. He explains his understanding of the issue, but the logic behind his own opinion.
Yeah, I mean, we've looked at different locations nearby and talked to some people, but we haven't been able to secure it, and things have changed in those locations. I wish I could say where I don't think we'd be able to do it right now, but I'd love to go back and talk to them about it again.
They have tried in the past, but it hasn't been too successful, although he's willing to reevaluate those possibilities.
We also have the senior center right over here, so it's where they have their own parking area that's next to ours, which I think makes it a little challenging, because we've had situations in the past where we've had people park in senior center spots, and then a person who's 85 is forced to walk through ice and snow to get to the senior center, which is just obviously not right.
Overall, we have already raised awareness to this problem. Regardless of the current system, there isn't a whole lot they can do. Thankfully, they are open to improving the system to fit more students' requests and adapt to their opinions.
On November 11th, the town of Swampscott held an observance ceremony for Veterans Day. The observance ceremony took place at 11 a.m. to honor all who served in the U.S. military. It was also honoring veterans from Swampscott and Lynn. Before the observance ceremony, there was a veterans breakfast inside the Swampscott Senior Center, which is right next to the high school. Lynn also held a breakfast for the veterans at the Lynn City Hall foyer and a ceremony at the Lynn Veterans Memorial Auditorium. The town of Swampscott invited the Girl Scouts of Ocean Bay, Boy Scouts from Troop 53, and Cub Scout Pack 55 to participate in the service. It was a very impactful and emotional ceremony, and we should all take the time to honor and appreciate the veterans who served and protected our country. This commemorated by Major General Chapel Hurley in his closing remarks, saying, "God, we stand here grateful for all the gifts that you have blessed us with. You are the source of all that is, and you are the source of all those who give themselves and sacrifice in service of others, and so we go forward today with." Now we cut to the sports desk where Paul talks about the results of the flag football game and the Thanksgiving game between Swampscott's Big Blue and Marblehead's Magicians.
The Swampscott girls flag football team played Marblehead on November 18th on Saturday. This annual flag football game has been going on for many years. Last year, Swampscott took the win against Marblehead. This year, the flag football game took place at Marblehead's home field. Unfortunately, the girls lost to Marblehead 21-14. Offensive coach Jackson Bartram said it was a good game. Offense started off slow, but second half, everyone stepped up. Defense made some big stops, and offense scored a couple touchdowns. Hopefully, our seniors next year will be able to bring us a win. The Big Blue took on the Marblehead Magicians last Thursday in the 114th annual Thanksgiving game. It was a hard-fought battle in front of an absolutely packed Blox Ridge Field crowd. Let's get to the highlights. The Big Blue had the opening opportunity to put points on the board, but senior safety and running back Brooks Keefe made the first big play of the game, intercepting Spear, sending up Marblehead in the Swampscott territory. Then from there, Keefe punched it in from the 2-yard line to break the ice on the scoring. Marblehead began the game with all the momentum, and Swampscott really needed a positive swing. Jack Hazel provided that spark on the very next play on the kickoff with an electrifying 97-yard kick return, which got Swampscott's home crowd back into it, tying the game up at 7. Then, on the ensuing Marblehead drive, Hazel continued to put the Big Blue on his back. He picked off the pass of Finn Gallup and returned it all the way to the 10-yard line to set up the Big Blue up first down and goal, giving the Big Blue a real opportunity of winning this game. 3 plays later, Jack Spear found junior wide receiver Joe Marino in the end zone, who made an absolutely miraculous catch off the hands of the Marblehead defensive back to make the score 14-7 Swampscott, giving them the lead. However, Marblehead is in Division 3 for a reason, and they responded. They took on the ensuing position right down the field and scored on a 4-yard touchdown from Brooks Keefe, his second of the game, which tied it at 14. Now the second half began with the Marblehead offense back on the field, and they picked up where they left off, marching the ball down the field with their rushing attack, and junior QB Colt Wills took the read option in for a 6-yard touchdown to take the lead 21-14. Later in the third quarter, the Big Blue found themselves pinned inside their own 10-yard line after a penalty and sack. It was 3rd and 22. However, Spear rolled out and threw up a prayer, and it fell right in the waiting arms of Joe Marino, who took it up the sideline for an 88-yard gain that set up the Big Blue up inside the 5. 2 plays later, Sam Nardwerney reversed field and took it in for the score, tying up the game for the 3rd time. After trading punts in the 3rd quarter, as the 3rd quarter came to a close, Marblehead was in the red zone looking to take the lead. However, junior linebacker Jay Domilquiz made the biggest play of the season, intercepting Colt Wills to halt the Marblehead drive and give the Big Blue the opportunity to take the lead. Unfortunately, this is where the heavy underdog Big Blue ran out of gas, as halfway through the 4th quarter on 4th down and goal, Colt Wills took it in from the 1-yard line to take the lead 28-21. On the final drive of the game, Jake Skoglund had a game-sealing sack as the Big Blue could not convert on 4th down and 21, effectively ending the game there. Some final stats from the game. Joe Marino had 4 catches for 97 yards and a touchdown. Jack Spear threw for 116 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Sam Nardwerney had 50 yards rushing and a touchdown. On the other side, Brooks Keefe ran for 116 yards, 2 touchdowns. Colt Wills threw for 108 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. It was a battle all the way from the Big Blue, but ultimately they fell just short for the 13th year in a row to the Magicians. Back to the news desk.
Thank you so much for watching Big Blue News.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tune in next time.
Bye-bye.